Okay, John Wertz here, Montgomery County Tea Party. It is December 5th, 7 p.m., and we're with William Waggoner, and he is running for JP1, Justice Peace 1. With me is Bob Bagley, Lana Ford, and Luis Pedraza. And welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. Thanks for answering the questionnaire and for coming in tonight. Um, as we talked about, if you'd like to go ahead and take up to 5 minutes in your opening, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'll just do, some of y'all have met me before. I'm William Wagner. I'm the current judge for the city of Conroe. I've been there for the last 4 years. I was first elected in 2022. Um, so kind of how I got there. I grew up here in Montgomery County. I was born and raised here in Conroe, lived in the same house my whole life. When I turned 18, I went to the military, uh, straight into the Marines a month after I graduated high school. Did that for 17 years now. I've been in the military. When I went to Korea most recently, that was when I was still active. I got stuck there during COVID. I was supposed to go for 1 year. I was going to be away from my kids and everything. And so we can do a year. Then COVID happened. And I was there for almost 2 years with my young daughter. So that's when I said, I need to come home and I can continue serving in the reserves. So I switched to reserves, came back home here to my hometown, and I was looking for a new job. I worked in an ER here. I was a medic for the Army, and someone had brought it up to me. They said, "Hey, you should run for municipal judge." And I said, "Oh, I'm not a lawyer. I can't." And they quickly corrected me and said, "No, you just have to be elected." That was on a Wednesday night. The deadline to file was that Friday. So I went, looked at it, and said, "Oh, you know what? I'll give it a try." I signed up. Uh, Went up to the court a lot those few months and just watched and learned. And said, I could enjoy this and be good at this. So ended up winning that in the runoff, and I've been doing it ever since. I love it. I hope to continue to do it here for the county and just in a little bit bigger capacity. Um, so that's basically my story and how I got here and why I want to continue to serve here.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Reset the clock here. And so how's your docket? Is it a full uh, backlog? I mean, is there a backlog to it? Is it a full deal all day long? I think we talked a little
So
bit
it
about
has
that.
changed a little bit over the course with how the city wants to run it. The city is structured, our court's structured a little weird. Most municipal judges in Texas are appointed. Um, we're one of the few cities that it's an elected spot. So for the first year or so, I was there every day. I would go to the jail 3 times a week, and they kept it flowing pretty good. We never had too many people in there, just because we were able to continuously do it. And so currently, the city of Conroe views it as a part-time job. And when I discussed making it a full-time job with them, they wanted to keep it a part-time job. And they actually went into the ordinance and put a maximum number of dockets I can work a month. So we are only allowed to have 16 dockets a month, but a docket isn't defined by any number of people. So however many cases we have to fit those into those 16 dockets. So some days we're very busy and uh, we just get started and we end when we get through everyone. But we don't have a backlog. We have on average between 15,000 and 18,000 cases a year come through there.
Wow.
How does that compare to the other JP courts around you?
It's about the same, if not a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, and other Muni course.
We're on par with all the other cities
What
of
is
our
we,
size.
you're talking
Uh,
as far as the city,
th-
not JPs.
Not JPs, yes.
Right,
the
okay.
ci-
So what exactly does a muni judge do, municipal judge,
So we,
that a JP does?
so the difference, municipal, we mainly only see criminal cases, and they're Class C cases. So a good portion of those are your traffic tickets, your car crashes, your speeding, everything traffic related. But then we also have, the other category. We have the theft under $100. We have the public intoxications, the disorderly conduct, the assault family violence cases. We see those too. So the municipal judge presides over all those cases. We take pleas, we talk to the defendants, we work with the city prosecutors and make sure everyone gets a fair trial, fair hearing, and just work through those cases and hopefully get good outcomes.
Okay. Right, boss.
So as the city judge, and you're only allowed to have 16 dockets per month. Is this not a full-time job then?
So the city does not consider it a full-time job.
So it doesn't pay you well?
I don't believe it pays very well. They have not adjusted the pay for, I believe, 20, 25 years, even though the city has grown an incredible amount since then.
And even though we have several of our administrators with very high salaries.
Yes.
So you're the only judge for the city of Colorado then, right now?
Yes, I am the only.
Yeah, there's
only
only
judge.
one.
Yeah.
I'll have to look up the salary, but it's been
It's-
how many years? 20 years?
This is about 48,000 with
Mhm.
the allowances.
About how many hours a week does it take you to do the job?
So again, I think you could do. I think it needs more than, because
Yeah.
you start, if you're limiting how much you're there, you're limiting how much you can interact with the person because you got to get to the next one, and that's never really a good thing. You want to be able to talk to them, really understand what's going on.
Thank you. Yeah. We asked you a couple of questions in here about what was your judicial philosophy, and was pleased to see that you said it is judicial restraint, not
Yes,
activism.
yes.
I think that's very important, especially in the criminal side of stuff. Um, what would you say are the biggest problems that you're dealing with in JP Court? One of the biggest issues that you think need to be fixed? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not JP, I'm sorry, in municipal court right now. And if there are particular issues that you saw, what did you do to fix them in the work? So you can give us a little bit of feel for your experience.
We can kind of use these
Yes.
interchangeably because,
Yeah.
so the difference, JPs do see more civil cases. That's where they see the civil cases under $20,000. So that opens up a different category that I don't deal with a whole lot right now. I know that is something that keeps them very busy, is seeing all those civil cases. But from my side and what I've seen at the city, the biggest thing we could do, and it's a tough one, is dealing with the mental health stuff, because so many of these people have the issues that if they were addressed and that they had some kind of resource to use and we could connect them to the people, they could get the help they need, and then they're not overcrowding the jail, which leads to all kinds of problems on the road. Because if you have an overcrowded jail, then people are getting out of jail for more serious things quicker because they don't have a place to put, and it just compounds the problems when you could be addressing some of it outside of that.
Can I follow on with that one? So you've mentioned this quite a few times. I'm on the board for the hospital district, and I know we have a number of mental health issues. When cops will end up picking them up, taking them in, and they don't want to deal with them. But yet we don't have the authority to do much on the mental health side as well. So it seemed like it's an ongoing problem that we're not getting enough support from. So have you elevated the problem up to city council to
So
let them know about the problems?
so it is tricky with what everyone can actually make someone do.
Right.
We've come up with a pretty creative solution to it, I think. We kind of have used community service in a different way. So if someone comes in and they have a ticket and they owe money, but there's some kind of mental health issue, or I'll convert that to community service hours, which they have to follow, or they could result in jail time, but it gives you a little bit of teeth in it. And instead of going to work somewhere, we're sending them somewhere, and you say, you go get these services. We will count that as you doing a service to the community. And that's kind of the way we've been dealing with it. But there's a lot of different ways we could make it better.
So going forward, going to the JP court, do you think that can be blended in with that, or what approach would you take there? I know it's a totally different
I think it's
scene, but it's still a mental health issue.
it's bringing all the stakeholders to the table. It's talking to the hospital districts, Tri-County, getting everyone involved, and seeing what we have, what we can do, and just keeping that communication open. And I'm sure we can come up with some good solutions.
So you want to go to JP1, which is a countywide position. That is a full-time job.
Yes,
Now, is that Wayne Mack right now?
it is.
Okay. So I guess one of my questions is, from a legal standpoint, yeah, you have a district attorney and you have another attorney representing not always, okay, but it seems like you would have to have some legal basis, some legal knowledge to move on to JP. I guess you don't need a law degree, but you have to be. You don't want to be like Judge Roy Bean, I guess, or do you? Where you peg everybody.
Definitely want some knowledge.
So I guess what I'm getting at is, what makes you think that you're qualified for that piece? Because there is some legal aspects of it that you
Absolutely. And there's judicial education we have to take every year. Every year I attend multiple conferences, online trainings, to keep up to date on all the legislation that's coming out. And I think that's one of the main reasons I would be one of the best candidates for this, is that I have 4 years and I'm still learning stuff every day. I don't think you've ever quit learning. But I do have the 4 years. I've seen a lot. I've gone to a lot of these courses and trainings. I understand how it works, and I think I can bring that to a JP court, where you're losing someone that's been there for 12 years.
Uh-huh.
You said somewhere in your documents you have about 90 hours of CEUs right now, and you take more every year. Like, how many
Yes,
do you take a year?
the judicial requirement, I believe, is 18 hours a year.
Yeah.
It's not too steep, but
So, if you would give me some clarification on the civil asset forfeiture. Our kind of question says CSPOA says civil forfeiture laws pose one of the greatest threats to property rights in the nation today. How should these civil forfeiture issues be addressed? You said you believe forfeiture should require clear evidence, due process, and a direct connection to criminal activity. Does that include or not include a conviction?
it would include a conviction. It would have to. I mean,
Okay.
anytime you're talking about the government taking something from you, it needs.
Okay, all the way to conviction. Okay. All right, because I know you said due process and a direct connection, but I never saw the word conviction. So, okay, Bob.
So one of the things that was talked about was taking days off, giving educational or motivational talks, and attending seminars and workshops, and you noted that networking with other county officials can be done on personal time. Um, is that because you're not working full time, or is that you're talking about doing
No.
evenings?
I think that's kind of just my belief on it. If I was to be the next JP, uh, you're hiring me to be the JP for that county. I think anything beyond that is something that I should be doing on my own time. It should be, I shouldn't be taking time off to go.
Well, you're going to find, I'm sure, that there's going to be times that you're going to have to meet with commissioners or things like that. So that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to get that done after hours most of the time. I mean, if you're doing things like coming to the Tea Party meeting or something like that, that's understandable. But a lot of it's going to be face to face with other judges and things that are going on. So I was just trying to get a feel for.
I see. Okay. I was taking that more like when you would put your caseload on the back burner to go do something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
That should be your number one priority.
Yeah, I understand that. But a lot of your classes and stuff that you're still gonna have to go through an indoctrination class with the state for the JP position. So you're gonna have additional training besides that.
Yes.
That you're gonna have to do. Okay, I'm just trying to define that.
So going into the JP court, that's going to add a lot of civil stuff to you that you
Yes, it
don't
will.
have a ton of experience in yet. And it's also going to be juvenile court, right?
And we do have a juvenile docket.
So you already have a juvenile docket
We
you
do have the
you have
juvenile
experience
docket.
with.
Yes.
And I think we heard something from Charlene Valdez today that now there's a condemnation and a little bit of eminent domain that fell under as of December 3rd into the JP court system. That's new. So,
They're
yeah,
constantly
they're always
updating,
throwing you something else,
updating
hitting the
more stuff.
curveball. So, what is your plan to go into this position and get your chops, get up to speed on these areas where you don't have experience? And then have you sort of set some metrics that you would judge yourself by, your report card? Like if you, 2 years from now, if you're running for this position, or, if we're looking at you for this position at that point, what do you plan to achieve and what would an A, a B, or a C look like on your report card? You've got a set of goals or metrics you've set up for what you need to get done by a certain time and how you'll do it.
Okay, so there will be a learning curve. Anytime you take on a new job, there's a learning curve. I think we are lucky here in Montgomery County because we'll know in March. My term will be over in May for the city, so I'll have at least 7 months to work with Wayne Mack to catch up on anything, understand their processes, so we can very seamlessly move over it. So that time I would be using to make sure there's no gap on it. As far as grading myself, I think the number one priority is keeping the case is not backlogged. Making sure the court runs efficiently, making sure the staff is happy, the defendants come out of there feeling like they got a fair hearing and they were heard.
So I'm trying to find. I read it and I was going to go back to it, but you have Morgan Luttrell endorsements
Yes,
and financing for this position. So you have Morgan Luttrell who's endorsed you. Pretty much that's it. Then how about financing? Are you getting a lot of donations from a big array of people, or what's your financing look like?
So right now I'm using my own money. I'm about to start doing some fundraisers.
Okay. And that's okay. I'm not saying that's bad. Actually, that's good, but not everybody can do that necessarily.
And I mean, I think last election I ended up spending somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000, and I could go back and look at the reports with my own money when everyone else spent significantly more on it. I think you can do these campaigns by just doing a lot of the work yourself, getting out there and talking to people, and not dump a ton of money into. Uh,
Yeah, this is a county-wide though. That's gonna
But
be.
not,
No,
it's
it-
not
so
county.
Oh,
this is
Pretty
that's
much
right,
north
you're right.
of what
it is bigger.
It's bigger. You're correct.
It's going to be Willis, Montgomery, and the north side.
It's a bigger area. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much north of 105, I guess.
Yeah, so
runs
it goes all the way 105 north of 105 until you get to the loop, and then it's the north part of the loop, so it kind of goes up a little bit.
Well, that's where you are now, but the JP1 is going to be everything north of 105, right? Highway
Until you get to the
105.
loop, it actually cuts up the
Oh,
north
oh, I
loop.
see
So,
where the city is,
yes, sir.
and then everything north of 105. I got you. Montgomery and the Lake Willis and all that. Yeah. So do you overlap with Commissioner Walker, pretty much?
Yes, that's the most overlap.
Okay.
And so the
Feel like
commissioners,
that's-
there's the 4 precincts for the commissioners, but there's 5 for the JP and constables. So it's the exact same as Philip Cash, and then some overlay with Walker.
Gotcha. Okay.
Of course, I
Chris,
don't want
you
to
got
make it
more?
easy.
You got more?
Oh.
Okay. I like your judicial philosophy, grounded in constitutional originalism. I also liked your answers in regards to the Paxton case. That happened. Serious concerns about due process, political motivations. There was a lot of lawfare there. The evidence did not support the removal, which basically played out. That's a good deal. I don't know if I have any further questions in regards to that, Bob.
Yeah, I'm trying to find good questions to ask. I mean, everything's pretty well laid out here. How much did you say you had last time for fundraising or for, was it? I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
It was,
it was between 7 and
8.
maybe 9 at the most.
okay, I couldn't tell if it was 70 or 80.
Oh no, no. I don't have that much money to spend on it myself.
And that's not a bad thing for us. It's just we realize campaigning is. Yeah.
Everybody here is a precinct chair, so we've all spent our own money.
And
to
that's
do that.
by far my least favorite thing is asking people
I
for
know.
money.
It is your least favorite.
The 3 of us were elected to, the 3 of us, but and one day Lana will get her elected into something.
Between midnight and 3. I'll add that to what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the time that you've been there, in the court, have you seen a lot of repeat customers?
There are quite a few. Yes.
Is there a way to cut that down, do you think, or is it mostly speeding or?
Well, no, not
Family
so much with the traffic stuff.
Yeah.
It's the public intoxication.
Oh.
It's the theft. That's the most you see the repeat.
Well, the public intoxication goes back to the mental.
It's the mental health.
issues.
It's the homelessness. It's
Yeah, and we have a lot of homelessness in Montgomery County and in Conroe. A lot of people don't know that stuff.
Not know that. All right.
Thanks.
Got more?
Yeah, we've heard that the need for mental health and that gap in services highlighted by a number of people that we've interviewed for these types
I think
of
it's on.
positions.
It is finally on everyone's radar.
The,
I think the state's making a good push at making people aware of it, the issues with it.
Yeah, this is not in our questions here, but it goes to the recidivism a little bit. I liked your answer about recidivism, that basically it reflects a failure of accountability. And you say here that you're making a strong stronger penalties for repeat offenders to help to discourage that. In that front, though, again, interviewing more of the judge candidates, there's some great ideas out there that some of these people have come up with over the years that have worked, thinking outside the box.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering if there is a intentional way to gather some of our JP court people together with some of these, basically to share ideas and to some mentorship, some, let's throw out ideas for how can we make up for the fact that we have some gaps in service, like in mental health, because some of them have come up with some really sharp things to do. And just wondering if you're open to that and
Oh,
ideas that,
absolutely.
that there could be some synergy there.
I think it was a few months ago. I went to a 2-day conference on mental health, and municipal and county judges all across Texas coming in and collaborating. And that kind of stuff is very important because for most of the year I work by myself, and there's not another judge I'm watching over there and say, "Oh, that's a good idea." You're in your own little bubble.
Yep.
So if you're not getting out of it, then you could be missing some of those things.
So what are your kind of long-term aspirations? I kind of see right now the city job really just is not it's not financially good.
It,
Long-term plan.
it is tough. I mean, I love serving my community, but I do have 3
Yeah, and so
very expensive
so
little
this is-
daughters.
this is daughter. Hey, daughter.
that are
They're little. So, yeah, it gets worse.
they
You haven't seen that.
they're
But-
my twins are just turned 11, so
It's getting
they're
there.
getting there.
So I guess my JP. Okay, let's say you do get that. So do you want to you aspire for higher goals, or are you just really satisfied with something pretty stable that you can do for a long time and really make an impact?
I think stability is important, but I don't think people should stay in the same positions, especially in government, for too long. So I do believe I would be wanting to push myself for something more in the future.
So you're basically doing term limits on yourself, but how many years do you think that is? Or is it just a feeling?
With how the elections go, sometimes it's you kind of have to wait for the opportunity to appear to take it, I guess. But in general, I think the 2 terms, the 8 years, is pretty reasonable amount if you're not challenging yourself for something more after that.
You guys,
I'm good.
We talked about what have you done to give back to the GOP? Basically, you're asking for an endorsement from a group of Republicans. Tell us what you do to be involved in the Republican stuff. How you support the GOP? Do you support the platform? I mean, just give us a little bit about your allegiance to the Republican platform and how to support both grassroots and the current GOP.
So, I mean, my family raised me Republican. I've always supported Republican candidates. I am learning more every year and getting more involved with it. There's a lot. And I think it's something you just continue to learn, continue to involve yourself, and support the party in any way you can.
Okay. Yeah.
you familiar with the term rhino
Yes, sir.
and the difference between there's probably a division in
There's
county.
a lot of division right now. That is for sure.
Yeah. And it's not just locally, it's statewide, it's
National. It's a human nature thing almost. Isn't it?
What Trump's going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. I mean,
Paxton even to a point.
a lot of lawfare, a lot of.
When you're too effective, they have to get you out. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, so there's probably going to be Brian Lutley, I think, is the guy who I have not been able to establish contact with him. Have you had any interaction with him at all, or?
Yes. So I got to sit down with him Wednesday, I believe. We happened to run into each other and had a few minutes, and we sat down and talked. And
Is that the person running for JP1?
Yeah, there's three.
Uh-huh.
there's
So
myself,
there's
Scott Carson, and Brian Luley or Lulai.
you. Yeah.
And I think Montgomery County is sometimes lucky in this sense that we have a lot of good choices. So it's
We
better
really-
than not having any choice.
Well, and that's the way it used to be, where there were hardly any choices. We had the same old people in the same positions, and you know, our taxes were just going out of sight. The spending was going out of sight. There was not a check and balance on it. That we did have like a Tea Party committee, it's called Conservative Coalition. It was vetting candidates, but sometimes I think one of the groups couldn't really endorse, right? And didn't have the latitude, the breadth of latitude that we have with our voter guide. And of course, with the internet and everything else, that we have now. So, yeah, I suspect that'll be a pretty competitive race, at least between two of y'all. From the way, I don't know who Brian, is backed by, because we don't know anything about him. I would imagine Scott's backed by, I would assume the current regime, pretty much. I don't know. That'd be kind of my guess, from what I've seen so far. But anyway, you guys have any more questions or?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think that's it
Good,
for me.
Bob?
Yeah, what's your MOS and reserves?
6-8 whiskey. It's a medic.
Medic, so good. We're always looking for good medics.
Oh, hospital.
Oh, yeah,
district.
Okay,
hospital
you didn't want to ride the ambulance?
Yeah, I have been asked to do that.
Yeah.
Have you really?
Mhm.
Well,
Dell has asked me.
Who has?
Dell and men.
Oh, yeah.
You need to go to a hospital district.
Yeah, well, you can always do a ride along.
Yeah.
Always, it's
All right, well,
pretty
sounds good.
amazing what we can do.
If you want to take up 5 minutes on your closing, and then we'll wrap it up.
I don't think I have too much more. Thank y'all for having me here. If y'all ever have any questions for me.
Do you have a
I'll be there.
website or contact info that people can?
Yes, I believe it's published on there. My
might say it for the camera.
website is Waggoner, Waggoner for JP.com. My Facebook's easy to find. Any questions for me? I'm here to talk and answer.
No,
William
Got it.
Waggoner, right on Facebook. So, all right. Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming in. Good luck in your campaign.
Thank you. I appreciate it.